As Michael said, this is the start of the wrestling season. For the first event of the year, we are hosting our home duel meet against Missouri in Grange Grove. So this idea has kind of gained a little steam over the last couple of years at a lot of places. We did this at Columbia last year, about the same time of year. Did it after the football game, and a lot of this was based on the start time, obviously, the football game, and with that coming out last Monday, we decided to go at 12:30. Our original plan was thinking probably 11, but I think doing it outside, it being November, we're not quite sure how the weather's going to go, so we kind of delayed it as much as we can to hopefully get the sun up in the air, warm things up a little bit. But last year's meet, it stayed pretty consistent between 55 and 60 degrees, and right now that's what it looks like it will be here, hopefully on Saturday. So pretty novel concept in terms of getting interest and getting people around and doing something completely different. So we're excited about doing it, excited about the concept. A lot of people, a lot of activity, all those things will be really great.
What kind of differences or difficulties are there wrestling outdoors?
For the guys on the mat competing, none. I mean, you kind of get in your little own bubble, and it doesn't matter if you're in Madison Square Garden like we were a couple years ago for the national tournament, or hopefully Grange Grove, or last year at Missouri softball field. I don't think there's really any difference for those guys out there competing. You're kind of in your own little bubble on the mat, and once you come off the mat and start cooling down, you might get a little chilly depending on the weather. But other than that, we can have them put on a jacket and a hat, and just like you're inside, I hope.
What's good wrestling weather? What do you call good wrestling weather?
Well, our wrestling room, and we've had a pretty good core group of guys from California for a lot of years, and what I tell them is during the wrestling season, it's 75 and sunny every single day in our wrestling room. So that's probably the ideal weather. If it's 75 and sunny, that's great. And when we talked about this, either to push it forward or not push it forward last week, my thought was I want it to be snowing or I want it to be 70 and sunny. I don't want to in between. There's too many headaches for me, too many decisions to make. You got to wait to the last minute, decide if you're going to go inside, outside, all those things. So I'm hoping it's either 75 and sunny or there's a foot of snow on the ground and we'll go inside or stay outside and everything will be great and attract a lot of people, I hope. Conversely, if the weather's crummy, hopefully we'll get some of them to come inside too as well and stay warm and dry until the football game starts.
Somebody's you take the mats over there, right? This is some work to get this done.
Wrestling's pretty easy. I think there's getting a scoreboard there and getting electricity maybe is a little bit of the problem. Moving a wrestling mat's no problem at all. We have, plenty grunt labor with our guys to move a wrestling mat, and they've done that thousands of times in their life, so that's not a big deal. I think logistically for, Zach Acton, Holly Stahlcup, DJ Taylor, it's probably going to be more work for them than it is for us just to show up. But again, we can provide the manpower. That's not a problem. It's just a lot of the other details that they need to work out.
Are the guys excited about doing this?
Yeah, I think they thought last year was great, and it was kind of a strange day. It was overcast and cloudy and crummy, and we never saw the sun, but the temperature hardly ever wavered. So we kept thinking, we're going to get over there. It's going to be late in the day. It's going to cool off. We're going to have to go inside, and amazingly enough, the temperature held, and they turned the lights on in the softball stadium and wrestled a duel. It was good.
Is there a backup plan if weather does happen to arise?
Don't say that. No. Yeah, there is a backup plan, and that's Huff. Obviously, we'll we got a couple of competition mats, so we do have a backup plan, and as you get closer, and as I was talking to Zach Acton this morning, who we were trying to make the final decision, or talking about making the final decision. And I think at the end of the day, as you get closer, things can change. Last Thursday night, they were saying there's a chance of snow. Between 36 and 47, a chance of snow. I kind of half thought about texting Zach saying this is crazy. We can't do this because it's going to snow. And then this morning it's 55 or 56 and sunny. So it won't be the last time it changes. And as many of you know, who've lived in the Midwest a long time, and I've grew up in the Midwest, I've been here a long time, the weather changes like the weather. So it could be sunny and 80 and it could be snowing. even though we think it's going to be 55 and sunny, right? So
Who won against Missouri last year, and how do you stack up against them this year?
they beat us last year, I think 2016 maybe. It was a really competitive match. 2018 something. It was a really competitive match. Yeah, there was kind of a couple of close ones, just like most wrestling matches. There's going to be kind of toss-up matches that on paper are really evenly matched. You have to win those to beat a good team. That's just the way it is. And last year, they got us in one of the swing matches and won the meet. So they're always a very solid dual meet team and have been for a long time. They have a good team this year. So, you know, if we sat and talked about it on paper, we wouldn't have to worry about the weather and wrestle Saturday. So we'll see what happens.
Could there be more of this down the road, wrestling different places for you? And you encourage that?
Yeah, I think it's novel. You know, I mean, it's something completely different for wrestling. I know, I think Rutgers and Maryland played football in Yankee Stadium, and I think Rutgers and Maryland wrestled in Yankee Stadium before that. You know, Iowa did one before a football game. Yeah, Stanford does it all the time. Cal Poly does it all the time. They have some advantages that we don't, but a lot of places have done it. A lot of places have tried it, and I think it's a novel concept. And again, our biggest obstacle is just the weather. So we could get really lucky, and it could be an annual thing. You know, I hope. But no, I think it's a novel concept, and it brings some attention to the sport, and hopefully it'll get some people in Grange Grove excited and you know, noticing and learning more about wrestling. Yeah.
Anything else for Coach?
Okay.